let's take a look at some Mosaic amenity renderings. As we say here, these are artist renderings for illustrative purposes only. Practicality, we wouldn't be showing them if we didn't believe these were 100% finished, and this is what you're actually going to get. Here's a summary, the rich array of amenities that will be built into Mosaic. And I won't read each one of these to you, but let's pause for a minute and look from the first floor to the second floor to the third floor, and then way up top in the penthouse levels, there's amenities incorporated into the 16th and 17th floors. And as you look at this list, in just a moment, we'll transition to looking at renderings, and I'll talk more about these. Mosaic will be rich in amenities. First, on the ground floor, this is a rendering of what the lobby will look like. So you see the car there? The car is coming off of Vine Street into a circular entryway, a circular driveway, if you will, under what's called the porte cochere. And you see the clean and refined look of the lobby that will be pervasive, frankly, throughout Mosaic. This is the ground floor lobby coming right off of Vine Street. Here, we're also on the ground floor. And if you're facing the building from Vine Street, this would be to the right, on the right-hand side. So I come in the main door and I look to the right and I see the ground floor restaurant and lounge. And this would be the interior portion of that restaurant and lounge. Again, I would just note the refinement and the clean, fresh, contemporary look of the design that you see here. Again, we're inside the restaurant and lounge, ground floor. And as I click, we move to that same restaurant and lounge, but now outdoors. So the exterior portions of the restaurant and lounge. And if you look carefully, you see both some comfortable seating, the couch areas. You see some table seating there on the left-hand side, and at the far top of the imagery, you see some fire pits there, which will just make this a delightful space for much of the year to enjoy. Essentially, we're here at the corner of Queen and Vine Streets is where we're looking here, facing the front of the building, right-hand side. Here we move to, we're also on the ground floor, but this is the Pearl Spa and Wellness Center. So in Mosaic, right inside the building is a full-service spa and wellness center. All the services that you would expect of a high-end premium spa will be right here within the building, ready to take care of the residents of Mosaic. Also on the ground floor is an exquisite indoor swimming pool facing the front of the building. This will be on the ground floor on the left-hand side. So opposite, if you will, of where the interior portion of the restaurant is that I showed just a little bit ago. Ground floor, very premium indoor swimming pool. And now we move one floor up to the second floor. I'm on the second floor. I'm essentially above the swimming pool that I just showed, left-hand side of the building, up one level, the fitness center and cycle studio. And as you can see, if you look out the windows there, we're looking over Vine Street and we're looking at Lancaster's Southern Market. So second floor, left-hand side as we face the building is the fitness center and cycle studio. Here, I'm on the second floor, but facing the building now, I'm on the right-hand side. So again, think of the intersection of Queen and Vine Streets. This is what we're calling the Red Rose Ballroom. Exquisite in design, very refined, and frankly, in scale and refinement topping anything else that exists in Lancaster City, which is the way Willow Valley Communities does things and the way that Mosaic is thoughtfully created throughout. Here I'm on the second floor in the library, so a great space to relax, a great space to bring a book, grab a book, read the newspaper, read a magazine, share some time with others. And now we're moving up to the third floor. I talked to you about distinctive 55 and over living. An extraordinary lifestyle would be part of residency at Mosaic. And so into that, we've built in thoughtful amenities such as this, a wine center and tasting room right there on the third floor of Mosaic. Also on the third floor, a very thoughtfully crafted game room and lounge, space to enjoy the company of other residents, or perhaps bring friends, enjoy a card game, enjoy a pool game here on the 3rd floor, right inside the building. Now we go all the way up to the 17th floor. This is what we call the 17th floor club lounge. Think of it as a private oasis, a getaway spot, exquisite and refined, magnificent really in design, high above Lancaster City. Look on the right-hand side. You see the floor-to-ceiling windows and the simulated views there. Boy, as we look at this rendering, and it is a rendering, not a photo, of course, one would think that the space might actually exist and that it were a photo. It's a rendering of this magnificent space. 17th floor club lounge. This is one floor down on 16. So again, high in the sky is the Inkwell Rooftop Lounge. The Inkwell name was chosen because of the building's, or the site's, I should say, the site's heritage as the print production facility for the newspaper. So thus the name Inkwell, printing of the newspaper. And this is the interior space of the Rooftop Lounge, Inkwell, on the 16th floor. Again, magnificent space. At the right-hand far side of this image, you see some doors just to the left of the orangish colored furniture there. You see doors. Those doors take you here, outside to the exterior portion of the Inkwell Rooftop and Lounge. And this might just be the ideal space for residents of Mosaic to enjoy either something warm in the morning or something cool and crisp in the evening, high above Lancaster City. Mosaic, and in fact this lounge, are being crafted to be higher, taller if you will, than any other outdoor space that presently exists in the city of Lancaster. The Rooftop Lounge at Inkwell, 16th floor of Mosaic. We recognize that living in a tower in an urban environment, people still want green space. They want to get a breath of fresh air. They want to enjoy live greenery. And so on the 2nd floor outside the doors, we've created what we call the urban oasis, which you see depicted here in this rendering. Lots of green, lots of fresh air, and opportunity to exit the building, but still be within Mosaic, if you will. The urban oasis on the 2nd floor. And here on the 3rd floor, the two things you see here. This is both the dog park and what we're calling the Mosaic Gardens. The dog park is on the right-hand side. Do you see the fence area there? That's the dog park where pet owners, and Willow Valley Communities and Mosaic for that matter, are very pet friendly. Dog owners, pet owners will be able to take their dog out for a quick break here at the dog park. Also, of course, the ability to walk the city of Lancaster for a longer getaway with your pet. But there is the dog park. And then to the left are the gardens of Mosaic. These are for resident use. At Willow Valley Communities, we found that gardens for residences are extraordinarily popular. When we make those available in the early spring, residents flock. For many, gardening was a passion prior to coming to Willow Valley Communities or Mosaic, and that passion can continue with the Mosaic Gardens. And now, let's actually look at some renderings of the apartments themselves. I have a couple of renderings to show, 5 in all, of 3 different apartments among those 16. Let's take a look. This is a representative apartment in the high-rise, which again I said was floors 6 through 15. The high-rise. This is a style of apartment that we would call F. F is in Frank. And this is the living space. Note, please, the open feel. Note the floor-to-ceiling windows. And note on the left-hand side, just beyond the sofa and the chair there, sort of under where the arched domed light is, do you see the rectangular cutout? That's the operable window that we talked about, where a Mosaic resident who wants some fresh air can open that window and get some of that fresh air. So that's that rectangular window. But this is the living space. Look at the views on multiple sides. Look at the finishes that are used throughout. This is HRF. in terms of style and design. That's the living space, and here is that same unit's kitchen. So I'm now looking from the living space beyond it into the very open kitchen area of Mosaic. Again, we have found that today's resident wants a kitchen that is integrated and open to and connected with the living space, whether enjoying their companion or spouse or enjoying guests that they've invited over. They want that open space that's directly connected to the living space. Again, I'd point your attention to the massive windows and the views that will accompany Mosaic. Again, high-rise F here. This is a little bit of a different unit. This is high-rise E, and this is a representative example of the bathroom, the vanity of a bathroom. You see the finishes that are selected. You see the premium nature, that very refined look that will just be pervasive throughout Mosaic. And next, we're going to transition to the apartment, the style that I've referenced earlier several times. This is what we call Penthouse 1. Penthouse 1, PH1, is the very large 3-bedroom plus den apartment that you see here. This is the living space. The expansive nature, I think, is evident. The floor-to-ceiling windows are certainly evident. Each of these 5 penthouse apartments, floors 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, each one of these has views not on one side, not on 2 sides, but on 3 sides. So it's got northern views, easterly views, and views to the south. Now, let me pause for a second and say that the penthouse as a collective has a couple of distinctions from the apartments in the other floors of the building. 2, in fact, that I'll articulate right now. Every unit, not just the big one, but every unit in the penthouse levels, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, has a foot of additional ceiling height. So while the ceilings are 9 feet tall in the residences on floors 3 through 15, once we get to the penthouse level, the ceilings add another foot for 10-foot ceilings in every apartment style, 16, 17, 18, and 19, 20, as well as it is the apartments on the top 5 floors in that penthouse level that have the gas fireplace. You see an example of the gas fireplace sort of in the center of this rendering there, with the gas fireplace actually illuminated in this rendering. So, top 5 floors, an additional foot of ceiling height, and a gas fireplace in each of the units. This is the living space of Penthouse 1. This is the kitchen of Penthouse 1, that very large 3-bedroom, very sizable apartment, Penthouse 1. We're looking from the living space again into a very, very open kitchen. Here again, look on the right-hand side, is that gas fireplace illuminated to show you what that might look like. And finally, in this component is our design studio. Willow Valley Communities and Mosaic have crafted a brand new, a newly expanded design studio, which offers complimentary interior design services for every incoming resident to Mosaic. And the beauty of being the first resident in the building, the first person to live in your selected apartment style, you get to make it your own. So you'll go to our design studio as a future Mosaic resident, and you will enjoy selecting the finishes that reflect your style. There'll be a series of standard finishes, which are very premium in nature, but you'll also have a chance to select from any of a number of upgrades if you so desire.